This conference will now be recorded.
Yesterday you have discussed about the topic like data at transit and data at rest, and also you have discussed about the NLB. You discuss about the right. Any questions on that would like to ask me? Okay, I think you guys are good. So let's go with and enable the respective transactions here with regards to the now the KMS. We'll continue the topic of the KMS, and also we're going to be work towards the respect to practical of the KMS as well, right? Respect to practicals of the KMS as well. Right? Those things will going to be covered here. And later, so just give me a second. So that is one, you just give me a second, please. Having the issue with my yeah, just give me a second. So I was changing my network. I'm facing some issue. Am I audible, guys? No, am I audible, guys? Hello. Yes. Fine. Thanks. So now here, so you guys are going to be discussing with the respective encryption at rest and encryption at transit. Yesterday you have discussed about that. Now today we're going to be discuss about the client side encryption as well as server side encryption here, right? Client side encryption as well as server side encryption here. So what is the meaning of the client side encryption and what is the meaning of server side encryption? We'll get to know now. So now here the client side encryption in the sense the data which is going to be, right, the data which is going to be stored in your respective storage devices is already encrypted by the client and going to be stored actually, right? The client side encryption in the sense the data is already going to be, right, encrypted, right? Client side encryption here. So here you have going to be discussing about the client side encryption here, right? Client side encryption here and server side encryption. These are the sub modules of the respective, right, and server side encryption here. So now here these are the sub modules of the respective, right, encryption at rest. Encryption at rest. Encryptions are of two types here. So encryptions at rest here, right? Encryption at rest. So encryption are of two types here. Right? One is the client side encryption and second one is the server side encryption here. So now here in this encryption, right, you have two types here. What are those two types here? Those two types are encryption at transit and encryption at rest here. Encryption at transit and encryption at rest. Encryption at transit and encryption at rest. So encryption at rest here. In the encryption at rest, you have two things actually. In the encryption at rest, you have two things actually. One is with the client side encryption, and the second one is the server side encryption here. These are the two types here, right? These are the two types here: encryption at rest and encryption at transit. Here in the encryption at rest, you have two types. One is the client side encryption, and second one is the server side encryption. The client side encryption itself, the name indicates before the data is going to be stored in the backend servers, right? This data is already going to be encrypted. Before the data is reaching to backend services, to backend services, right? To backend services, the data is encrypted here, right? The data is encrypted here. The data is encrypted here. Before it reaching to the backend services, the data is going to be encrypted here. Server side encryption in the sense, after reaching to the, right, backend servers, the data need to be encrypted. After reaching to the backend services, or the servers, the data need to be encrypted here. Am I clear on this? What is this two? Right? Encryption are of two types. One is encryption at transit, right? And second one is encryption at rest. In the encryption at rest, you have two things. One is client side encryption. Second one is the server side encryption. Client side encryption in the sense, before the data is reaching to the backend services, the data is going to be encrypted. And server side encryption, after reaching the backend services, right, or the servers, the data need to be encrypted. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts here? Am I clear here? Jiva, right? Pangesh, any questions here? Rekha, Rohini. Very important actually. This is an interview question actually. Encryption also are of how many types? Encryption at transit. What do you mean by encryption at transit? As I said earlier, whenever the end user from his browser to from his web browser to till the reaching to the www.amazon.com or amazon.in, right? Amazon.in, right? This is going to be reached to the respective, this is going to be reached to the respective ALB, application load balancer, and then this is going to be reached to the respective, right, the target group here, right, the target group here, and here it's going to be reached to the respective EC2 instances here. So from this end browser to the, from the respective end user browser to the, till the SSL termination is going to be happening, till that SSL termination is going to be happening, you call this one as an data at transit. After this SSL termination, the data is tried to store with the EC2 instances, right, over the backend databases, over the respective storage devices like EBS, like EBS here, right? Like EBS. Those things you call this one as an, right? Those things you call this one as an, right? Those things you call this one as an, right? Data at rest. Data at rest here. So this is how you call this one as an data at transit. This one you call this one as data at transit, right? And you call this one as a data at rest. The red one you called as data at rest. In the data at rest, you have two things actually. In the data at rest, you have two things actually. So one is with client side encryption, and second one is server side encryption. Client side encryption, before reaching to the data to the backend servers or services, the data is going to be encrypted. So server side encryption, after reaching to the backend servers or the services, the data need to be encrypted here with the help of KMS here. So now here, how the data is going to be encrypted, right? After reaching to your backend services, how the data is going to be encrypted, that what you guys need to understand right now, right? That what you guys need to understand right now. So now here, you need to understand, right? So now here, you guys need to understand here. KMS, key management services, right? Key management services are completely manage your encryptions over the AWS. You call this one as encryption keys on the AWS with the help of, right? You call this one as customer managed key, or you in a short you call this one as an, right? You call this one as an CMK. This respect to KMS, right, will going to be help us to provide a encryption keys. Will going to be provide a encryption keys here, right? Encryption keys here. This is going to be provided encryption keys here. Right? These encryption keys we call this one as a customer keys, customer managed keys. This encryption we call this one as a customer managed keys. Customer managed keys here. Customer managed keys here. This encryption we call this one as a customer managed keys here. So now here this customer managed keys here, right? You call this one as an KMS here. So CMK, right? Customer managed keys here. So this KMS is going to be used hardware security modules, right? Hardware security modules to encrypt the data which is stored on your backend storage devices, right? You call this one as an hardware security modules. It's going to be helpful to you to encrypt the data with respect to the hardware stored devices, hardware security modules, right? Hardware security modules here, hardware security modules here, right? Hardware security modules here. This is one thing that you guys need to understand here. This is one thing, right? This KMS is going to, whatever the data is going to be secure in your respective data over the storage environment, those are going to be encrypted with the help of KMS. You call this one as an hardware security model. So now here, this respective KMS has been splitted into two categories, right? One is with customer managed key, which is nothing but CMK, and second one is with the data keys, right? Second one is with the data keys here, right? Second one is with the data keys here. Customer managed key, and second one is with the data keys here. This is with CMK, customer managed key, and second one is with the data keys here. So now here, this respective customer managed key will only going to be support, right? Will only going to be support 4 KB, right? 4 KB of data where you guys can able to encrypt, right? 4 KB of data where you guys are going to be encrypt. If the data is more than 4 KB, you guys need to use the data keys where it's going to be achieved from, right? The respective CMK. So greater than 4 KB, where it's going to be achieved from the respective 4K, where you guys are going to be enable the greater than 4 KB, where you guys are going to be enable greater than the 4 KB, right? So only the CMK will support the data which is less than the 4 KB. If you want to encrypt the data more than the 4 KB, right? If you want to encrypt the data more than 4 KB, then you guys need to, right? Then you guys need to ensure that. Then you guys need to ensure that you need to adopt a data keys to encrypt your data more than 4 KB. So KMS will going to provide the encryption keys. Encryption keys are nothing but your CMK, customer managed keys, which is going to be helpful for your hardware security module. The data which is going to be stored in your respective hardware will going to be encrypted with the help of CMK. CMK only support the 4 KB of data, right? CMK only going to be support the 4 KB of data, right? CMK only going to be support the 4 KB of data here, right? So if you want to encrypt the data more than 4 KB, you guys need to ensure that, right? You guys need to ensure that, right? You guys need to ensure that you need to achieve the data keys. Any questions here? Let me know, guys, if you have any questions.
How
Any
we can
questions, guys?
identify the file size actually?
File size df, just Linux command df-h du-sh.
No, you're telling that this data key and the CMK rate, so size I'm asking.
Yeah, no, the data which is going to be, you want to encrypt, right? The data which is you guys need to encrypt, you cannot get the file size by using the du-sh and the file name.
Okay,
If
same
suppose
command.
my
Okay.
data I want to encrypt more than 4 KB, I need to go with the data keys to encrypt the data. That's how it
Got it.
works.
Perfect. I thought maybe something different actually.
Yes, so that is one thing. So now here, so guys, whatever the topics now I'm discussing, it is not going to come to your exam syllabus. This is only going to be helpful for your additional topics. You can call this one as an, it's only the bonus topics, but these are very important for the interview. Yesterday I have discussed about this respective VPC peering and VPN and NLB. Those things are not comes into your examination, right? But only to gain your respective, so only you have to gain your respective interview, only to gain your respective interview. That's how it works. So that's how it works here, right? And then, so now here, how to derive in a practical section that I'm going to discuss. Theoretical part, you guys are fine with this? Whatever I have discussed, theoretical guys. You guys are fine with this? Any questions? Mangesh, Jiva, Avinash is not there. Uday, Banu, you good? So this is
Yeah,
important.
clear.
Yeah. So let me introduce KMS. Downloads. So, one minute, let me save this. KMS device. Yes. What is this one? Okay, fine. So now here, let me share you first, otherwise I will forget. So now here we will enter into the practical, how it works, in what way it going to work. These require the complete end-to-end Linux, yeah, but it is an only simple commands. No need to worry, right? Very simple commands actually. You can easily remember. So firstly, you guys need to create your respective CMK, which is nothing but customer managed key, which only supports the 4 KB of data. So later, with the help of CMK, you guys need to use you need to derive the respective data keys, right? Respective data keys, you guys need to later you need to derive the respective data keys. So once you guys have derived the respective data keys, then you guys need to use the data keys for your encryption of data, which is the having the size of more than 4 KB. So now here, this is the behind the scenes actually. This is the behind the scenes what exactly going to happen. So in a simple, in your real-time environment, these logics are not needed actually. So what you guys needed here is just you need to create a KMS key and you guys need to use it to encrypt your respective data. So now here I'm going for a services, go for the respective AWS, go for the KMS. Go for the customer managed key, create a key here. There are two keys actually in the customer managed key, which is nothing but CMK. There are two keys, which is nothing but CMK. So now here in this respective CMK, right? In this respective CMK, you have two things. One is with symmetric and second one is asymmetric. So symmetric is nothing but, right? Symmetric is nothing but, right? A single encryption key you use for both encrypt and decrypt. And asymmetric is nothing but a public key and private key that can be used for encrypt and decrypt. So this is little bit tricky actually and no needed. In the real time as well, you guys are going with the symmetric. Both encryption and decryption, right? Both encryption and decryption, you guys are going with the, right? Both encryption and decryption, you guys are going with the respective, right? Both encryption and decryption, you guys are going with the respective symmetric. And the next thing here is, this is aliasing name actually. So aliasing name, I would like to give with the prod KMS key, right? Prod KMS key and the KMS key for the production storage devices. This is what I'm going to give here. And the key permissions, only admin can able to do it. key permissions. Only admin can be able to modify the key permissions. So now here, and this is the define the key permissions again. Admin I'm been using here. Administrative privileges admin and key usage permissions is admin. And now here finish it. Right now here finish it here. So now here, this respective KMS key you guys are going to be used for your to encrypt as well as decrypt the data which is going to be stored in the respective EBS volume, which is going to be stored in the respective EBS volume. Right, which is going to be stored with the respective EBS volume. So that is one main important thing. Respective EBS volume here. That is one main important thing here. So here in the storage environment, go for the encrypted, go with the prod KMS. This is what you guys need to do. Anything, if you want to encrypt the data which is going to be stored on the respective hardware, to enable the hardware security module, over the devices which are there in the AWS, you guys are using the KMS key for your respective encryption of your data, right? For your respective encryption of data in the respective AWS environment. Am I clear on this? Am I clear on this? Any questions? Any doubts here? So this is what you guys are going to do, and you have an permissions as well where you have set for the admin as of now, right? Here you have set admin as of now here, and the security group here review and launch. So now here, how behind the scenes is going to be happen? In what way behind the scenes is going to work? Right? This is not required, but to make you guys are understanding, as soon as you have used this respective encryption keys, or you guys are using this respective CMK, or you guys are using this respective KMS to encrypt or decrypt your data by using the symmetric keys over the AWS. How the behind the scenes is going to be happen, that we'll discuss right now. This is not needed. This is only for your understanding how the encryption of data will work and how to decrypt your respective data. That will going to be I will showcase right away. For that, here required few of the Linux commands need to be needed here. No worries, it's only 5 to 10 commands. You can easily grab it. So this is the WAF key. Let's use this respective KMS here. Let's log into instance. So what about assignment, guys? Where are you on this assignments? What happened to you on yesterday? So Jiva, where are you on the assignments actually? So the next topic is like you guys are entering into the concept of target as well as customer gateway and enabling the hybrid communication between your AWS VPC to the data center VPCs, data center premises. Pretty important, pretty good topic actually. Right, that is one main important thing. And the next thing you guys need to enable the direct connect as well. Probably on Monday we'll enter into the last topic of this phase 2, the direct connect. So that is how it's going to be happen. So we'll see how it works, right? So now here, let's use this respect to KMS here. Let's use this respect to KMS here. How to use this respect to KMS and how to encrypt and the decrypt with respect to data. We'll see together right now, right? This is pretty important, pretty easy actually. First, as soon as you have created this respect to KMS with the symmetric key, so now you guys need to use this respect to CMK to convert into the data key. That is the first step you guys need to do. To convert this respective key, so you require an admin privileges. Go for this respective uh, IAM user. So go for this respective user here, this admin user, the one which you have given the permissions to access your respective KMS key, right? So show what privilege you have the admin key to access. That's great. So now here generate this access key and secret key. So now I would like to use this respective access key and secret key to derive the respective CMK to the data key here, configure it, right?